Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are briefly going to talk about the weather API to be used in building our weather application. There are numerous weather APIs available, and these APIs, they give us access to different weather informations. The weather information ranges from temperatures to pressure to humidity, wind speed, wind direction, rainfall, snow, and the rest. Now, this weather information, we can get access to current weather data, historical weather data, as well as weather forecast data. Some weather APIs out there makes available weather maps, but the weather API we are going to be using, we are not going to get any weather map from the API. Now, there are different weather APIs available. Examples, we have the forecast.io. Here you can get current weather data, historical weather data, as well as weather forecast data. We also have the AccuWeather API. We have the Weather Underground. We have the Open Weather Map API, and etc. There are so many weather APIs available. Now, the weather API we are going to use in building our application is the Open Weather Map API. Now, the reason why I chose this Open Weather Map API is because I am more familiar with the API. Now, the other APIs, I went through them, but they are not difficult to understand. But the Open Weather Map API is much more easier for me to use. Now, this Open Weather Map API requires us to have an API key. So also the other weather APIs. So for us to access weather data, we need to get some developer keys, which are the API keys. Now, to see this open weather map, let's open a new tab and we visit openweathermap.org. So you visit openweathermap.org. Now, this is the page of the Open Weather Map API to be used in the course. Now, as I said previously, we can get current weather data. We can also get weather forecast data, historical weather data as well. Now, to see the API, let's click on this first. Then we can see the different weather information we can get. We can get current weather data. We can get 5-day, 3-hour weather forecast, 16-day daily forecast. We can get historical data. We can also get historical data in bulk. That means you can get weather data of different cities in bulk, weather maps, UV index, weather stations, and also weather alerts, air pollution, agriculture. This is just a new feature being added. So in this course, we are only going to make use of the current weather and the 16-day daily forecast. That is what we are going to use in our application. Now, before we can get this weather information, what you need to do is to sign in or sign up if you don't already have an account. The sign up is very easy. So you just add the username, email, and password. So once you sign up, you'll be taken to this page. Now you can see here we have the setup. We have the tab where we can get API key. So this is the API key. If you don't want this API key, you can try to generate your own API key. I already have my own API key, so I might use this or I might use the one I have previously. So this is how you get your API key. And now to see the data, if we click on this current weather data API doc right here, we can get data either in JSON, XML, or HTML format. And we can receive data or weather information by using either the city name, by city ID. We can either get by geographical coordinates, that is using the longitude and latitude. Now, I wouldn't really suggest using city ID because it will be difficult for us to know as much city IDs as possible, and also geographical coordinates. But by city name, it's much more easier. You just type in the name of the city, and if the weather information is available, it will be returned. Then down here, if we scroll down, we can also get weather information by zip code. Then if we scroll down here, let's see the formats. We have the JSON format and the XML format. Now, for the current weather, these are the information that are returned. If we make a request to the API, maybe we want to get the weather information for a particular city, the returned results, it returns the longitude, the latitude, the main weather information or main weather condition, the weather description. We can also get the weather icon. Then also we get the temperature, the pressure, humidity, then the minimum temperature, maximum temperature, wind direction, wind speed, clouds, rain, snow. Then also we can get the name of the particular city, the ID, then some other information. Now in this our application, we are going to be getting the data in the JSON format. If you want to use the JSON format, you can, and if you want to get the information in the XML format, you can as well. So these are the different information we can get. Now in our application, the way we are going to retrieve the data, once we pass in a city name, maybe we want to search for a city name, we are going to get the current weather information for that particular city. And also, if I click on this API, also at the same time, we are also going to get the 16-day daily forecast. Maybe we could reduce it to maybe 7 days because we want to get daily forecasts. We could maybe reduce it to 7 days or 10 days, or we could retrieve the whole 16-day weather forecast. So when we make the API call, we are going to get the current weather data as well as the 16-day daily forecast. So in the next video, we are going to see how to get the coordinates of the user's current location. So we are going to get the coordinates of our location, then use those coordinates to get the current weather data as well as the 16-day daily forecast.